Hey guys, Phil here. I just wanted to. We've got a little Twilight Zone stuff going on here. I could have sworn that we put this episode out. We recorded this a long time ago, and I can't find it. I can't find it anywhere, and so I'm reposting. If somebody listened to this, maybe shoot me a note so I know I'm not crazy. But I think I've mismanaged it, and I've just managed to lose poor Mel Divers somewhere. Anyway, you're going to hear a pretty great podcast. A thank you to Mel for coming on and being such a wonderful guest, and then apologies to Mel for losing this episode somewhere. So this is dated a while back. So I don't know how that happened. And then congratulations to um, Mel and Moonshine Mamas for turning 10 this year. So congrats so much. And I'm listening to this again, and it still makes me smile. Mel is such a wonderful person, and such a wonderful brand. Anyway, I hope you enjoy.
Welcome to This Commerce Life. We are an unscripted podcast dedicated to small businesses and entrepreneurs in the retail and consumer packaged goods space in Canada and the United States.
I am Phil Chang, co-host and co-founder.
And I'm Kenny Vanucci, co-host and co-founder of This Commerce Life.
Our love is the journey to retail, and our passion is sharing that with you every week.
I have to agree with Kenny.
Thank you. Because West Coast is the way it is. I mean,
well, then send the mountains this way, and I'll take the fuzzy weather.
We're not asking for a trade. We're not. You're the one that wanted to trade. We have no desire trading. Zero.
I didn't have a desire to trade. I just told you to take your weather back, so I don't want it.
We said we didn't want it.
I don't want it. Oh my goodness.
Hey, I love those hot summer nights you get back there. It's awesome.
Exactly.
Yeah. Man, how are you?
I'm really good. How are you doing?
I am all right. Yeah.
Other than the rain and the weather, you're good.
Yeah, we've been. I feel like Kenny and I have been like burning the candle at both ends. I think it feels like that, Kenny.
Yeah, I mean it does.
Agree?
I mean today's especially. We've been on together the whole day practically since 7:30 this morning.
Yeah, we're really good friends.
You got me beat. It was 8 o'clock for me, so yeah, but it's a little mellow this week is good. We're doing a lot of catch up because we're not as and there's not as much being thrown at us, which is unusual but relaxing. It's nice.
Mm-hmm.
It's just nice to have a little just lull. I know you don't want long-term lull, but a little lull sometimes just gives you a little
breathing.
rest. Just breathe for a second.
I agree. Definitely need that just to realign and so that's
like a reset.
Yeah, and just get the to-do list up to date.
Yeah.
So that's been the focus this week. I think we're just getting better at what we do. So it's always a little bit like, what? We're done? We got time? So it's always weird. It's like, oh, but we did more than we did like a month ago. So I guess we just adapt as we move along.
Take all the wins you can, my dear.
Yeah,
Take all the wins you can.
Yeah.
Because you know what it's like.
Yes.
Right?
Indeed. Yeah.
It can be cyclical, so we take them when we get them and we're happy.
Yeah, it is. It's good. It gives you an opportunity to think of all the things you've forgotten.
Yeah, something like that. And that lasts about an hour or two, and then you're all stressed out. Where the hell's the business? Why is it so slow?
You're not wrong. For listeners, we have Mel Divers on, and she runs Moonshine Mamas. She's one of the few people I know that figured out how to fit a season into a bottle.
Yeah, that's a good way to say it.
So I think when I met Mel at CHFA East, I think I had spring in a bottle. Was it spring in a bottle?
I thought we did the whole year.
Oh, that's right.
We did a couple of seasons in a bottle, and I was overjoyed. Like I
super
I
tasty.
kid you not, like it was delicious, and it really did. It tasted like one tasted like spring, another one tasted
Yeah.
like summer. Like
No,
it was
it's
just
really,
it was
really
so
good.
fantastic. So
Yeah.
Really good.
so we've got Mel on, and I think a couple of things. So one is I'm going to shut up in a second and let you talk. There just a small plug, because when this comes out, it'll be 4 or 5 weeks from now. But there is a wonderful episode with Mel in it with Hearts and Carts.
Yeah.
That you should listen to. Our friends Justin and Alex. Actually, it was just Justin, not Alex. And Justin, by the way, you did a good job by yourself. And Alex, I can't believe you left Justin alone.
So bad. So bad.
But a good episode with Mel there. So you can go listen to that one for sure. But I'm really glad you're here, and I would really love to talk about how you figured out how to fit a season in a bottle. That's
I
amazing.
love that. We really have to take this. You got my wheels turning. I mean, that kind of happened all by accident, and you definitely being at the show really reminded me that essentially that's kind of how it all worked in a way. I mean, we always used to call, when I started, we only did the lemon flavor, and we used to call it sunshine in a bottle. And I had friends that would call me and say, "Can I order some sunshine in a bottle?"
That's right. That's right.
So,
How good is that though, right?
yeah, but then as we moved along, we added, it really came about in the fall when I met a farmer who was growing elderberries. And of course, being focused on the immune building properties of the ingredients, I was like, oh, we have to get this into one of our flavors. And so, yeah, that was spiced elderberry. We used to call it Winter Warrior, actually, at the time. But then people thought it was only available in the winter. So we renamed it spiced elderberry. And now most people think, because it's spicy, oh, is it going to be too hot? I'm like, no, it's just like the other stuff.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
All of it's so delicious. Wait, sorry.
The products were phenomenal. Like when we even walked away, it was funny because we thought, what a wicked marketing play, because truly they did feel like they felt like seasons in a bottle, which was kind of weird, but really kind of cool.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, that was just, wow. It actually, it fit. That's
an interesting take. And yeah, we added I would put that into the spring, and the summer would be all those, the strawberry and the raspberry, which brought an element of spring when you start craving those kinds of flavors. We didn't do it on purpose, honest. It just happened that way.
No, you're going to tell everybody from here on out.
We meant it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
it was definitely, it was you. I have to give you credit.
Crushed it.
Yeah, totally.
Do you so now that everyone's paying attention, because you can get spring, summer, fall, and winter in bottles at Moonshine Mama's. Do you want to kind of just tell them, because I think it's a neat story around like how you landed on, I think your story of how you landed on turmeric, right? Because of the turmeric centered product. So I feel like
very much.
Yeah.
So sort of go back like in time, why that? Like,
yeah, for sure. Well, definitely the why, you've probably heard it. It's not a hidden story, but it's because it was really a desire to heal myself and to build my immune system back up after it was walloped after a cancer diagnosis, as you know. And I really, really felt in my heart that if I looked to nature for nourishment, I was looking for healing, of course, like we all do when we are faced with that kind of crisis, and also to energize. I was very depleted, basically. So all my research led me, turmeric was number one. So turmeric was definitely the driving force in creating Moonshine Mamas. And I'm going to admit 100% selfish intentions. It was for me. I wasn't looking to build a business. I don't even know that I had that even in the peripheral. It was more as I got well, and it's all I wanted to do was make this glorious stuff and share it. And so it started kind of as I transitioned from some of my other work obligations and started doing I just sold it to friends and family. Like I said, they'd call me up and say, "Can I buy some sunshine in a bottle?" And then that gave me the confidence to do the Salt Spring Saturday Market here on Salt Spring. I didn't have a business plan. I didn't have a strategy. My strategy was to sell enough to buy more ingredients and come back the next week and keep building it up and building it up. So that's what I did. I just committed to that. And then as I started getting feedback from people buying it and asking me, where can I get this when you're not at the market, that was enough driving force to get me to get it into some stores. And there was lots of confusion on the way because I didn't come from this world. I worked in a health food store when I was a teenager, and I was always pretty geeky about, I guess, health food and healthier food and whatnot. Not that I'm going to say I was super on a great path. I could have been on a better path, but I didn't know this world at all. So of course I approached a friend who had a cafe, and she put it in her store. And then at that time I don't even think I had proper labels. I think I had something that I hand wrote and tied to it. And slowly I learned all of, mostly through error. I learned. Yeah. So it was one phone call from the health, VHA, the Vancouver Island Health, whatever. Say, "Mel, you have these things. Where are you producing these?" And I had to quickly.
My kitchen.
Well, at the time I was making it in my friend's cafe, and I thought since it was certified kitchen, I was covered. And then he very politely said, "No, you have to get yourself certified." So a mad scramble, if I dare say, incriminate myself, the mad scramble was that I had at that point got it into the local health food store, and I think into our local grocery store. And he told me to pull all the product until I was certified. And I knew, because I live on Salt Spring, he wouldn't be here till the following Thursday. So I didn't pull it. Don't tell him.
You gotta sell it out. You gotta sell it out.
Yeah. I just hustled and got all my paperwork, and I met him at the cafe, and I got myself certified just on time to do a restock the next day. So that's been fast. Yeah, that's been this. It was actually 2 weeks, because I knew he came every 2 weeks.
Right.
So, yeah.
So how far between sort of not a pleasant diagnosis to your healing part, to the part where you're actually starting to do, like, this is going to be a business, because I just don't know the time frame from that. Like, how long was this?
Sure. It was a diagnosis, and it was probably about 6 months through my diagnosis. I was committed to changing a lot of things in my life, diet being one, making sure I kind of followed, I think I touched on that before, but it was a Gerson. I was inspired by the Gerson protocol. So I was juicing 2 liters of juice at the time. And that was kind of the transition into making these elixirs. I had incorporated turmeric and ginger and lemons. They all are very powerful as far as being anti-cancer and anti-inflammatory benefits and everything. I was already consuming them, but I knew that for me to really commit, because with those ingredients, it's about the daily use to really benefit from the anti-inflammatory. You really need that daily consumption. You have to build it up. It's also that turmeric's very water soluble as well. And so you have to, that it really helps if what you combine it with, how you take it, all those things are factors. I didn't know all that at the time, but I learned that slowly. So it was really about making it an easy routine. And I would say that in that timeline, so there was about that 6 months that I was just juicing and playing around. And then it was about 6 months when I started to experiment with making it into the elixir
Right.
that we kind of know today. And then it took I'm going to say I started selling it within a year of diagnosis. It was a year.
Fast.
Yeah. And then it took me another, I'm going to say 2 years to perfect the recipe because
Right.
I was pulling, because I'm not a scientist. I didn't have the budget for food scientists, but I wanted to make sure that I was getting all of the benefits. And there's a lot to it. Just sprinkling, say, turmeric powder on your food isn't really, you get about 2% of the benefits. You need to activate the turmeric. We all have heard that word now, thank goodness, because when I started, nobody understood what that was, but that's a process of pulling the curcumin out of the locked molecule. So that I learned that process. It's more involved than just adding pepper. There's you have to actually heat it to a certain temperature so that it opens. But then because turmeric's very water soluble, combining it with an oil is really important to make it bioavailable. So that means it'll
You didn't
stay
know
in.
any of this prior, eh? Like this is what I just picture you in the kitchen, stirring on the stove, this all this. You know what I mean? I'm thinking, so what are you got a book in one hand thinking,
Yeah.
you know what? I need some
Yeah.
oil right now. Oh, shit, I can do this too.
That's how the name came about. My friend was making fun of me. I was going to call it Salt Spring. I think I was just going to call it Salt Spring Elixirs. And she was like, please don't call it that. There's enough Salt Spring.
There's so much
brand.
Salt Spring.
Yeah. And so she actually suggested Moonshine Mamas, and it was a play on that. She was mimicking me in the back 40, mixing all my potions.
Seriously. You're up in the Ozarks hiding from the police.
Yeah.
Got a skull in the back.
But did you have a pot of moonshine somewhere? Maybe
That's another story, Phil.
Maybe the health store got one of those sets of bottles confused, and
you know what I did?
Elixir.
Yeah, I had a few of those around, but not on the fun side. It was more I was into extracting all anything. I still do. I'm like mason jars of things mixed in alcohol to try to pull out all the medicinal value and things like that. But no, there was no real moonshine. I think at the time, I think I may have drank alcohol a little bit at that time, maybe, but not very much. And since then, not at all, except for in medicinal way if I made a tincture or something. So no, sorry. My friend has a great quote though. He always says a shot in the morning, a shot with vodka at night, because that's the whole other side of Moonshine Mamas, which is kind of always confused me in a sense of how to talk about it, because it's a health product. It was formulated for the benefits, but heck yeah, it tastes great in drinks and cocktails. You just naturally, and I figure, well, balances that out. It's also a really great hangover cure, so kind of balances out any alcohol. So, I would say I used to make we used to do some open houses when we first opened our factory. And we'd have an open house and we'd make some cocktails with it. But mostly I stick to mocktails these days.
Yeah, I can see a whole bunch of yours. Like I don't drink a lot, but I love tequila.
Yeah.
Right? I think we talked about that too, but I can see many of your drinks going along.
Even after trying them, Phil, because the flavor profiles are so interesting, that you could definitely see it. Yeah, in a bartender's. Arsenal.
We're in a few restaurants, and they do make some cocktails out of it.
Sure.
And you'll notice that some of the recipes that we have on the website, they kind of mimic some. Like we have the Meltini, and we have the what is it, the Mama Mojito, and you can kind of get an
But that's
idea.
fun. That's good though.
I have your Mama Mojito card here still somewhere.
Oh, no way.
Awesome.
Oh, that's awesome.
I'm actually sure I have it. I thought I just saw it, actually.
So we sort of digress. So I was just looking at time. So we're like 3 years in.
Yeah.
To like,
so,
we're proper retail, like understanding packaging, labeling, etc.
Yeah, that was, I'd say, within that period of time. So after that big lesson with VHA, I definitely asked a lot more questions and found people that could give me the right kind of information. So and still, I mean, still perfecting everything, getting the right labels on. I didn't even know, I had no idea till I went to Country Grocer here on the Salt Spring Island where you even got a barcode or anything. So that was all learning curves, learning about where to get that, how to set it up, fumbling my way through, trying to just get it done because like I said, I didn't have a budget for much. I had to do everything myself in the beginning. So the first 3 years was just kind of getting through all of that. At the same time, I didn't have a sales strategy. I was just basically motivated to keep getting it out to whoever asked for it. But doing the market was a great opportunity. You meet a lot of people and they'd go back to their communities, into their community stores and say, hey, you should get in this Moonshine Mamas. And before I know it, I'd start getting, it was all incoming for that first 3 years. But in that, every year we would double our sales. And so we were getting more and more saturated started on Salt Spring and then into stores in Vancouver Island and then into the mainland. And in the meantime, I had to get out of, I think that first kitchen that I worked in that I told you about, my friend's cafe, it was really to that point where they were really busy. We were getting busy. It was a lot of work. So yes, there was some secret kitchen brewing. Well, I wouldn't say the first 3 years. That was that first 6 months. And then within the first year, we built a kitchen. We actually just built it in a shipping container in our backyard. That was our first kitchen and got it certified.
I mean, you're certified. It doesn't matter where it is. It's close to home.
Exactly. Yeah. So that was,
I think that's an awesome idea.
Just adds to the,
I think it's awesome. Like, seriously.
Yeah, there's some great videos of it on YouTube. If you go,
tell me that doesn't scream Moonshine Mama.
Yeah, totally. But it was a good learning curve because we were growing very quickly. I finally was able to hire somebody. I literally would make the elixir, whether it was at the cafe or in my kitchen secretly. And then I would get all of the cases and get my family around. Okay, put on a movie. And we would sit there and it was literally 3 stickers per bottle. So we'd sit and we'd watch movies while we labeled all the bottles to get them ready. And then by the time we got into the shipping container, I could finally hire somebody. So we ended up hired actually our first hire. He's still with us. His name is Andy, and we call him the Ginger Ninja because he became our extractor. He kind of runs all of the when the ingredients first come in, he processes them and gets them ready for the next phase, which is creating the batches. But he started off, he'd come in on Sundays and he would prep all of the ingredients so that we could move forward. And then within year 2 in the shipping container, we were already to the point we had doubled again, and it was getting too small for us. And we added another shipping container. I didn't have the insight of anything. Like I didn't think about things like the space it takes just to pack orders alone.
The shipping container.
Like the refrigeration space that we needed, the storage space for more bottles. I mean, in the beginning, I'd be doing.
Wait. So how many shipping containers do you have in your backyard?
You know what the funny thing is I'm looking at them. Literally, there's just 2 right now.
They get edgy on that island if you start making a mess of nature.
Yeah.
30 shipping containers on the lot.
They're still here. When we moved out, we moved into our first factory in year, I guess that was after the third year, we moved into a factory, and it was 1,100 square feet. And I flipped a lid because I thought, holy, what are we going to do with all this room?
How long ago was this?
Crazy. That was in year 3. So that was 2016. We moved into that space.
You've been at this for a while, right? It's 10 years now.
Yeah, it's been 10 years. 10 years. 10 years cancer free. 10 years doing Moonshine Mamas.
That's
And
awesome.
and they say it takes 10 years to get to really be a professional at something, and I still can't even imagine calling myself but I definitely feel I've learned a lot in that 10 years, and we're just coming into it and the next phase. I would say from that 2016 up to just before COVID, that was our growth years. Again, just doubling. We did all self-distribution, and I just kept on. I was going to hold on because I started with very little. I didn't have any money to start this, and I was holding off on bringing in investors. I just wanted to build up as much equity in the business as I could. I was also terrified of owing money. So I didn't take out any loans. We just kept pouring the money back in, but we kept doubling. And so in that 3 years we were in our factory, I knew that I was building up for the next phase of I'm going to call the scale up mode. And right before COVID, that was when we were ready. It was the first. We did all self-distribution. Like I said, we did self-distribution throughout Toronto as well, and Ontario. We had satellite kitchen at that point.
You're running a kitchen in Salt Spring and in Ontario?
Yeah. And wow. I had family, but then we ended up actually closing it. When we got our federal certification, we wanted to just have it under one roof. So we brought everything back to Salt Spring. And at that point, we had built up enough customers that we could justify shipping by the pallet. Right. And then we had a distribution network that we used to still continue. We just still did self-distribution, and it worked well until the gal that my wonderful, I'm going to call her my daughter-in-law. She was running that, and when she became pregnant, and then we had to, she was going to go on maternity. So that's when we decided we better get distribution. So we had just started just before COVID, we were just getting set up with some distributors.
Yeah.
And then COVID hit. Things went nuts first, and then everything just shut down. The distributors, everyone was just like, we don't know what's going on in this world. We're just gonna shut it down. So we didn't end up following through with our plan to get on with the distributor at that time, and we held off for another 2 years. So through COVID, really, we were still doing self-distribution, managed to figure out a way to keep it going in Ontario as well. And then finally we started on our new strategy of onboarding distributors about a year ago. Okay. So again, we've just up to that point. Up until COVID, it was just like doubling every year. And then through COVID, it just kind of stagnated a little bit. We just kind of held our own. And then now we're growing at a different pace. I'd say about 50% year over. But,
that's it. That's it.
All?
Well, I'm comparing it to 100% year over year. So
I think 50% is definitely not a why bother.
Yeah. Okay. Maybe let's say 40. I'm gonna.
It's still not a why bother.
No. It's still good.
10 would be 10 is a nice
growth happening. It's still good.
Okay, but we're making up for some time during COVID when we were just we didn't move. It was scary times. And then navigating all the things that have been thrown at us since then, COVID, and then the supply chain issues that we had. Freight went up like 5-6 fold. Yeah. Well, logistics were crazy. I'm going to say that it was actually lucky in a sense that I always knew I wanted to control everything. So I didn't go to people that would suggest co-packers. It would make life easier. But in some ways, I attribute that to our ability to get through all these trying times because we had no choice but to, I'm going to use that word, pivot.
Yeah.
And so when things got tough, like when we were buying all of our glass bottles from China, and then when shipping just a 20-foot container went, the last quote I got kind of right at the peak of the craziness was 15,000 or 18,000. I can't remember. I think it was 15,000 for a 20-foot and 18,000 for a 40-foot
USD
container. Yeah. And it was, when I started, it was 1,500.
I
So
know.
that added a lot of costs. So we were able to pivot. I looked everywhere in Canada. If anyone knows a Canadian manufacturer for glass Boston round bottles, please let me know. I haven't been able to find one, but we found actually their suppliers, they don't even make it themselves either. They have it shipped in as well, but from other locations. I think Thailand, one of them was coming from, but we pivoted to some glass providers from the States and was able to kind of keep the price not going up as crazy as it could have. And saying I was able to find different ways of buying all of our critical inventory and just kind of manage our prices so that it didn't make a huge difference. It still did go up, but I mean, I know some of my food friends were having costs going up 30%, 40%,
Daily.
crazy stuff. Yeah. So we were able to play it. I'd say ride it out and with minimal damage. We had other challenges at the time that I had to kind of get myself through, but though that was, I think, good. And it was good practice for me as well. I actually had somebody in who was doing all the procurement, but when shit hit the fan, I kind of took control of it. And it was really good because I found other ways of doing things, and it's in the long run going to be really good for us as we grow and making different partnerships, and that's really it's different now. So
no, it's all good. Sounds good. So you're on Salt Spring still. You're in how big a space now?
Now, so that location that we moved into out of our shipping container, and the 1,100 square foot,
Yeah,
1,200, we managed to add. Now we're in 2,500 square feet. We are. It's really tricky. It's undersized for us again. Still, so many inefficiencies.
right.
But I'm stubborn and want to stay on Salt Spring as long as I can. So we're working on. I can't really talk about that, but we're working on.
Anything. It's all good.
We're working on some solutions for that, and
there's always a ways around everything.
Yeah, totally.
You just got to try to figure it out. So you're still manufacturing on Salt Spring.
We are.
You've got yourself a distributor now to take you nationwide, or are you still doing it yourself?
We do self-distribution throughout, obviously Salt Spring and Vancouver Island. And then we have two distributors now. So we are national. So we're growing. That's definitely our biggest growing. We kind of plateaued when we got to a certain level of self-distribution. It got to the point where we can't grow anymore. So it was time. And I'm loving our partnerships with our distributors. I didn't know how I'd feel about it. Because, like I said, I like to have control of things, but it's actually just growing our team is how it feels, especially now we're into year 2 with them, and I'm just getting it. And we have a broker now as well. So all of that, this is all part of next phase. Awesome. We've been on a mission since day one. I've always felt like if Moonshine Mama's had such an effect on my life at the time when I needed it so badly, that wanted to always make sure I could get it to anyone who had got benefit from it as well. So that's been the fire under the belt since day one. So I never wanted to inhibit us from growing, because that would inhibit us getting it to those
For sure.
people. So
For sure.
that's been the strategy. And yeah, lots of lessons along the way, lots of lessons to come, I'm sure.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, but it definitely makes it easier when you have more of a team. When the early days by myself, it was definitely hard, because every mistake, it was up to me
So
to fix.
the world has obviously changed for you in terms of sort of probably being Jane of all trades. So with all your free time, because you're no longer doing distribution and things, all this massive amount of free time, like how are you filling your day now? Is it just back to the stove? 'Cause I'm assuming that's what you want to do. Like you're the one
for real now.
You're the vision. You're going to be the one that does
Yeah.
the recipes. You're going to be the one that's going to try to find solutions for my problems, Phil's problems, whoever's problem. And I'm assuming that comes out of not having now to pack boxes, put labels on, and all that bullshit. Like you're actually changed your role.
I have, definitely. I would say that when you first start a company, you wear a lot of hats. You're one person, you do it all. You are the person you're the shipper, you're the manufacturer, you're the sales team, you do all the Instagram, you are the marketing. So all those hats, as you grow, all those roles get definitely more involved. There's a lot more to it. So taking off those hats slowly meant that I have more time to devote to what I actually should be doing at this point, which is more of the being the visionary. So
Strategy.
a lot of my time has gone now. I would say now I'm getting more time to go back to innovation. Good. So we have some new products that will be coming out in 2024. So I'm really excited about that, because we were so stuck, especially through COVID, stuck in our small space and stuck without the distribution, having a distributor. Now I've been able to put my energy into that. So that's one thing. I definitely have spent a lot more time with numbers. As you get bigger, it gets more complicated. So I spend a lot of time trying to understand the effects of the numbers on what on our ability to grow and do the things we want to do. What else am I doing? I tried, I do have some advisors, and I try to update them regularly and meet with them as well. And that takes up a lot of time. I'm working side by side with our director of sales as well. And lots of things. There's a lot more regulation being thrown at us. So a lot of my time is actually getting procedures figured out and working with our team to get all of those things tickety-boo. and so that's kind of what I'm working on, a lot of those things right now. And also forecasting. I spend a lot of time because just trying to plan out,
it's a business, right? It doesn't just run because it just runs. Like someone has to run the ship, right?
Well,
how are you finding the transition, Mel? Like you were doing everything. Like I don't know you well enough to comment. Just a little bit I've heard. Like I don't think you let go of things probably that easily. Like you probably like to, like you said it, have the control. But when you start doing stuff like this, were you finding it challenging that they need to let go of this stuff that you needed to let go of so that you could spend more time maybe in the numbers and things like that?
Not at all. It's awesome.
Good for you.
It's so great. I love it. I can't wait to have, I can't wait. My next big one will be definitely having, like a brand manager, director of marketing. And I'm
That's
so
awesome.
excited. I can't wait for that day because I find that the team effort is way more fun because I only have so much experience
Right.
and
You know what
insight.
you know.
It's little things like because we are creatures of habit, and so I do things in a certain way, and then when I have somebody else who comes into the picture, they bring a different vision, and sometimes it's things I would have never thought of.
Right.
Like
Mhm.
like like I'll just give a quick example, and it's a simple example, and it's way back it was when we were still here in the shipping container and I was still making all the batches, and then I was just kind of relinquishing that to my daughter, and she started making the batches. And just a simple technique, sometimes when you're working with raw ingredients and you might have like Andy juice that much lemon and ginger, and you build a batch and you have a little bit left. And sometimes we just build a batch and we'd be short a little bit of something, let's say lemon juice. And then, so I just put a note on it. And one day came in and she had green tape with needs 2 batches. And it was like, needs 2 cups of lemon or something like that. I was like, oh my God, it's such a simple
It's so
detail,
easy, eh?
Smart though,
but,
right? Yeah, so
but it,
smart.
yeah, but it just changes everything because it made it really obvious. You could see it. Sometimes I'd miss notes if I'd write it on, and then you'd taste the batch and be like, it tastes off. And then you'd spend like 30 minutes trying to figure out what you need to do to fix it. Whereas that just helped so much. So just when you like, that's just solidifying my point that bringing in new team members is awesome when they're the right fit and they know. Like I just hired our director of sales, and she's amazing. She's way more organized than me. She knows that world so much better than I probably ever will, because she comes from that, and it's such an asset to have her. So no, I'm happy to give up control. I love the team. I love the team feeling, and I welcome it. So
Got it. Love
That's
it.
awesome.
Love it.
yeah.
What's I guess it's a combo question of what's next for Moonshine Mamas, but then also like what's next for because you've kind of carved out this really neat space. There's a handful of you in this kind of
Yeah. in
space,
space.
but there's not that many of you, right? So do you, without any trade secrets,
No trade secrets.
do you see anything coming that you want to go after, or you see things evolving a little bit? Anything that kind of we wouldn't really be thinking about?
Yeah, totally. Yeah, it went in the beginning when I started, I would say we were at the forefront. There was, there may have been a few out there when I started, and it was definitely, it had its benefits and its challenges because, when you say we make functional shots, at that time it was really confusing, and it took a lot of education. It still does.
Yeah.
But it's less confusing now. People get it. There's been a lot of information out there about the benefits of turmeric. That's been helpful because at first people would be like, what? You're making a turmeric? What? Why?
Yeah.
And so that's been helpful. And yeah, it is evolving for us. We do have a few kind of really cool, innovative products that are that we hope to put out into the market over the next year or two. And I can't, I can speak about what I can speak about, and that's probably our ready to drink. I can say that we'll be bringing out more functional beverage that's ready to grab and go, that kind of thing that's in the works. And there's a few other neat things that we're
We can talk
working
about
on.
those in the new year in the next podcast or next update.
Yeah,
Us now.
totally. Yeah. but yeah, always I think that's an important part. It keeps me interested too. I mean, my heart will always be with our original elixirs, because it was life-changing for me at the time on a personal level, and also on a business level. Like I said, if you were to tell me 15, 20 years ago that I'd be super excited to sit around and look at forklifts or walk-in coolers or
You'll be making these in a trailer.
yeah.
Sorry, in a shipping container. And then
Check
two
out
shipping
that
containers.
pallet jack on that truck.
Did you see that pallet jack? Did you see how fast it moved? And smooth and quiet. Could you believe it?
Yeah, it was amazing.
You look at, racking, you think, did you see how light that racking was?
Yeah,
This
totally.
forklift goes from 0 to 60 in 18 seconds.
Yeah, it's kind of sad sometimes what you'll get excited about. You'll look at lids and think, oh my God, that lid is crazy. Did you see how cool that one was?
I know, right? I was we have a manager for the production manager, and so we're in office together. And the other day I'm like, whoa, look at this, Sherry. Look at this. It's a pallet wrapper. It does it all by itself. Watch it spin. I'm like making her watch videos of it. And
it's cool though.
Yeah.
If you're in the industry, that is pretty cool. It spins like
it's so cool. I can't wait.
Yeah, and it does it like,
to have one of those.
You know, like a human would, up and down. Like it's crazy.
Yeah, those are really cool.
Sad in a lot of ways, but that's okay. It's still pretty cool.
Yeah.
Oh, it hurts. The wrapping, the manual wrapping.
A little bit hurts.
Looks easy, but it hurts.
Yeah.
I used to get dizzy. Never mind.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, totally. I have to take a break.
Seriously, you do one pallet. If you that's enough. I gotta rest for a minute.
Yeah, totally.
Lunch is not sitting well this moment. I give me a second.
Yeah. Take turns. Your turn. Take team.
So in terms of sort of where Phil was going, like, do you see, like, for you potential, like, I mean, I know there's finally going to be some changes in CBD. I don't know why it's taken this long, but anyway, there might be some changes in that. There's obviously different adaptogens you can use, etc. I'm sure there's other herbs and other flowers and other plant medicinals you can get into.
Are there actually changes coming in CBD?
Sounds like it. I mean,
does he think he's getting more votes, or what's happening here?
No, I don't. I'm not convinced. I don't know who. I don't know if it's Finding Health Canada maybe had a lot of pressure, but I think again we do it half-assed in this country. We started with the wrong side. The recreational side wasn't the side that needed the help.
No, we started because
for the medicinal side to sort of kick in.
Right? We did it because he needed the votes, and then once he got the votes, it was like, well, I think my job here is done. And you're like, no, there's another full half of this, the good half you left out there. Anyway,
do you see plays in that though for your world, Mel, or is that just too far out and who cares? Not that who cares.
No, it's not too far out. We definitely I think what I'm going to say is that as far as the elixirs, the core elixirs that we have, there could be some new ones that would maybe come in, but we're mostly excited about innovating new ways of bringing in the functional ingredients.
Nice.
Yeah, so we'll see what comes when we have a few other ingredients that we're really excited about that we'll be launching some in the new year as well. And it's not CBD, but we have some other ones that we got super geeky about, all of the great benefits. And so there'll be some shifts and some additions, but the core products that you see today, I don't think they'll be, you won't see those disappear. Those will.
Well, the wheel ain't broken and they work and people are getting value out of them. I mean, why take them out, right? Like you said, maybe a different way to enjoy them. Maybe there's a different delivery method that provides the same sort of benefits, but maybe just a different way or a different market to creep into. It sounds like that's what the ready to drinks could potentially do. I mean, I think that's all good.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, we like to be a little bit we like to differentiate ourselves for sure, and so that will always be. Well, we have a few neat little innovations that we're working on, and they're like nothing I haven't seen out there yet. Hopefully, we can figure it out before.
Even if you don't, I mean,
yeah.
you'll just do it well, so don't worry about it.
Yeah, but that's kind of the driving force. It's the focus will always be that nature for nourishment, and turmeric. We've spent a lot of time. You'll appreciate this. It's been hard to kind of figure out how to talk about Moonshine Mamas, because at first we thought just talking about turmeric in itself, calling ourselves a turmeric based elixir, would be limiting because of there's so many things out there. But so we were almost blanketing, saying that you know what I mean. We were kind of trying to cover too much. So we've been going through a lot of, I'm going to say, therapy to try to find ourselves again, but not find ourselves. We've always known ourselves, but to figure out how to just own up to what we really are. And that is, turmeric is our superstar ingredient.
They just tell it's how to communicate it to people so they understand what the hell we're trying to do.
Exactly.
Why it's important.
Yeah. So we're just owning that, and anything we do over and above that, it'll be an added value.
Bonus round.
With the functional benefits of the ingredients will always be the resonate throughout the whole.
Right.
Yeah.
Good for you. Good for you.
Really love
Thanks.
it.
So once we get through this and we finalize that, then we hope to do some fun stuff with it. Just get a little bit, just like shout it a little bit loud, I guess you could say.
Well, if we can help you on the shouting, let us know.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
It's nice to support. It's nice to support small
bet.
business, local business. I think what you do is really cool, and the product's really, really good. Like really good.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
You make summer in a bottle, so
Like, seriously.
I don't want to be.
Yeah,
I don't want to be part of the shouting. Like that. It is really cool. Like
it's I like it.
Yeah.
I really do.
I'm going to say too, the other commitment is we're very committed to keeping it a clean label. So
Good.
we don't add any preservatives.
Good.
We know everything that's in that bottle that came from nature. There's nothing outside of that. And we even drew the line. We use glass bottles because I cannot feel comfortable putting something with such a low pH and so concentrated. You're taking this as a concentrate. It's concentrated, and if it's in plastic, I don't know that it's not going to. Who knows? I can't put my stamp, my mama approved stamp on that. So we stay in glass bottles, and I don't feel that any pasteurization options that we have checked out ticks the box of keeping it a whole food and keeping all of those healthy benefits and enzymes intact. So no pasteurization, no HPP. And
stay true to you, right? You know what you like and what helped you. I mean, why deviate? I mean, other people can do that if they so choose, and that's their business plan. Nothing wrong with that, but stick to yours.
Yeah, for sure. It's about maintaining that quality,
right?
As opposed to increasing the shelf life or whatever else motivates. So,
well, I appreciate it. I'm glad you came on, and I'm glad we didn't wait till the new year.
Me too. Yeah, right? It was fun.
I'm glad we had a chance to do this now. So that was very nice.
Yeah, thank you for doing this.
You got a cool thing there, Mel, like you do. You
really do.
It's a really cool product line. You're pretty cool in how you're doing it. I like it. I think it's good.
Thanks, Kenny. That means a lot. And Phil, I was really excited to meet with you. I can't wait to connect more, maybe collaborate on some fun new marketing schemes that we can come up with in the new year.
Yeah, I would love it. I would really love it. Before you go, can you because we've talked about it a bunch of times now. So in your elixir, if you wanted to drink spring, if someone wanted to order spring, what flavor do I?
I was going to ask you that too, Phil. That's a good
Yeah.
question.
Yes. Oh yeah. We talked about summer and we talked about fall, but spring definitely. Two come to mind. I mean, I could categorize all of them.
I think you should categorize all because we'll share that.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I would say for spring, it's definitely Sublime Super Green because that.
I like that one.
I remember now.
It's
I like that.
it's blue spirulina, so it's as blue as your shirt. Combined with the turmeric makes it that it's absolutely the most beautiful green. It screams spring because it's so lush and green. But it's
guys,
also
it actually tastes like spring. Whatever you think spring tastes like,
I think that's what you need to tell people. Like
spring.
Seriously,
tastes
because
like spring. Yeah.
we tried it. It's like, I mean, I think I remember because I thought, Jesus Christ, this is like really green. I don't know if I'm going to like this one. You know what I mean?
No, because Kenny was
totally.
like, all like, I'm like, bring it.
Yeah.
It's
and
green.
then, holy shit, man, it was good.
Little secret. I'm not a big fan of blue spirulina on its own, but in that elixir is one of my favorites. Something about that combination is so delicious, and it actually the blue spirulina, it works in synergy with the turmeric to really kind of bolster the benefits, but also spirulina on its own, it's very detoxifying. So that's a spring thing. It's a good spring. And of course strawberry, because strawberry you start craving those flavors in the spring. So strawberry is another one that I would put in spring. In summer, the yellows, they're definitely a summer and a fall, I would say. They're just solid, consistent. They're just really nourishing. And the raspberry I would throw in there as well, because raspberry, I feel like it's a summer flavor, and I start craving that kind of flavor as well. Really high in antioxidants, and it's just a flavor thing at that point for me too, to bring in the raspberry. We do have a blackberry. We haven't been able to do it this year because we haven't found a certified source of our blackberries. In the beginning, we used to just have a guy that would come and pick on Salt Spring. So they were wild crafted, but you can't get a certification for that.
No.
Anyway, so that's a summer, and then into fall, it definitely the yellows kind of definitely are the fall. Also, I'd throw sour cherry in the fall. So sour cherry turmeric, because sour cherries really great, high in anti-inflammatory benefits. Also, sour cherries have naturally occurring melatonin. So when you're trying to you need more rest, you have to start taking care of the summer partying's over, guys. It's time to get back to business. So we need our rest. So sour cherry.
Can you help me with my gout?
Yes, we have people that do purchase it for gout. Yep. Sour cherry.
I just saw that now too. I'm just looking at it. I'm thinking, I wonder if I should look down this path.
Yeah. Order some.
We'll send you some. Just I have to.
Well, I don't mind ordering it. I don't mind.
But you can be my guinea pig. How about that? Yeah.
I'm okay with that part too.
Yeah, totally.
No, I had an attack this weekend, and luckily I had some meds kicking around the house, which I don't like using, right? Because you can tell. I mean, I'm not supposed to have meds left over because I don't like the regimen, which is probably half my problem. But whatever, I know what I need to do diet wise. But there's a lot of times like the sour cherry juice, like I can't drink it pure out of the bottle. I have to cut it with so much water.
Yeah.
I just don't enjoy it then. I'm not enjoying what I'm drinking. So I'm trying to find something that's natural that I'll actually enjoy. And your products, I mean, seriously, if I could eat the green stuff and I thought, holy shit, man, this stuff's awesome. I know I can do your stuff.
Yeah. Okay. I got it. We need to guinea pig. I have to get you some and you have to give it a shot.
Okay,
literally.
no, seriously.
Take it in the shot.
Take a shot of a shot.
Take a shot a day.
Yeah,
Keep
I can do that.
Yoda away. There we go.
Yeah. No, it wasn't comfortable this weekend.
Well, that's sad. But that was when you're talking about the cutting the sour cherry, I just remember those early days when I was trying to incorporate I need to take turmeric every day. And it just got to that point where I was just like cringing.
You're not
And it's like,
enjoying it, right?
and it's like, it shouldn't be this way. I mean,
No.
I need to enjoy this routine. So that's how it started. Really, I needed to make it an easy and enjoyable routine.
Well, because then you'll do it, right? Then it's not a chore. Like, as soon as it becomes a chore, you're thinking, shit, I don't want to do this.
Yeah,
like, you know what? I'll just take
exactly.
my chances and hopefully it doesn't happen again.
Yeah,
just
and you
really
start skipping days. It's like, oh, I'll pick it up again tomorrow. And then it's like,
Exactly.
oh, next, and then
Exactly.
before you know it, you're out of your routine, and it's all
Yeah.
gone to hell.
Yeah, handbasket. Yeah.
Yeah. So,
Alrighty.
yeah, that resonates very much. I can relate.
Okie dokie. If people want to get a hold of you
Yeah.
or find your products, where are they going?
Well, they can certainly find me on Instagram, or I mean, my email's really easy. It's mel@moonshinemamas.ca. I'm very open to any conversations, so feel free to reach out. And our website, of course, there's a general mailbox on our website as well. And you can always find Moonshine Mamas on all of the Instagram and Facebook and what's TikTok and
All the other fun stuff.
all of them. We're there.
Sounds good.
Awesome. We love
Mel, thank you.
Yeah,
very
thank
much.
you for coming on.
Thank
Love
you. It was such a pleasure.
No, it
Nice
was our
nice
treat.
hanging out with you. Hopefully we can do shots again at CHFA West.
Maybe we'll come out and visit you on the island. You never know.
Oh, that would be even
Yeah.
better.
You never
Yes.
know.
That would be
Please
so
do.
cool.
I would love it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Awesome.
give me a heads up and we'll make sure we'll do it up. Do it right.
Sounds good. Thanks, Mel.
Sounds good.
Okay.
Thanks,
Phil,
Mel.
you stick around. You go enjoy your afternoon, Mel, and thank you very, very much for doing this.
Pleasure. Take
Take
care.
care. Bye.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Awesome.
That was awesome.
And we got to run.
We got a bolt. Thanks for listening, everybody.
Thanks for listening.
Ciao.